And welcome everybody out there on the internet. So this video is why I do not support Donald Trump and why I will not support him. I'm going to start by saying this. What is the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So people vote GOP and they think they're getting something other than what they're really getting. You know, Ronald Reagan put in gun control measures. The NRA since the 70s or 80s has supported virtually every gun control measure that has been proposed. That's why I don't support the NRA. I don't support the GOP. The GOP fooled me in the 90s with the Republican Revolution, but then they didn't do the things they said they were going to do. So why I do not support Donald Trump. And if you don't believe the things I'm telling you, I'm going to provide links. And these links are to conservative sites. And don't get me wrong, I don't support the Democrats either, but to me Donald Trump is a Democrat. Donald Trump, his administration has put in a bump stock ban. It doesn't matter if you like bump stocks or not. It goes against the Second Amendment. It goes against your right, my right to self-defense. Donald Trump and his Attorney General, when his Attorney General was going through the confirmation hearings, he openly called for red flag laws. Donald Trump has called for red flag laws. Donald Trump and his administration are urging states to take up red flag law legislation. And then we can get to the abortion deal. See, this going back to the 90s, and you do this today, like Donald Trump's first 2 years in office. The GOP held the White House and both houses of Congress. And all they did was talk, I emphasize talk, about ending the funding, federal funding for Planned Parenthood. But they didn't actually end it. Now, 2 states have passed some strict anti-baby killing laws. But, and let me also make it clear, before somebody says I'm some sort of religious fanatic or something, I'm an atheist. But I'm still pro-life. There aren't a whole lot of us out there, but we exist. Donald Trump and the GOP had the majority for Trump's first 2 years in the White House, and all the GOP did was talk about defunding Planned Parenthood. They never did anything about it. I remember in the 90s with the Republican Revolution, the GOP talked about ending killing babies, but they never did anything about it. I remember somebody asked Rush Limbaugh about it. He said, oh, incremental. We need to do things incrementally. No, if you believe in something, just do it. Just freaking do it. If you say you're going to end abortion, then end it. Don't talk about this incremental stuff. People tell me, well, we got to still vote for the GOP because if we don't, we're going to get it worse from the Dems. Well, you're getting it pretty damn bad from the Republicans. You're obviously not getting what you think you're getting, because the GOP is pushing, heavily pushing, gun control. So you have Trump's bump stock ban. You have Trump and his AG and others in his administration calling for red flag laws. Trump is not pro-life. Trump has made that clear. If you listen to what he says, he says, well, not in cases of rape or incest. Well, look, that baby is not the father, right? That baby did not rape the woman. That is a beautiful, beautiful human being that came from a horrible, tragic situation. And there are women who feel this way. You can find plenty of them. And there are women who have had to suffer through this, and they love their children to death. So, I just, how can anyone support Trump when he is anti-Second Amendment? I was watching a news conference, and somebody asked him about the First Amendment, and he said, yeah, I would consider making some laws, not to enforce the First Amendment, but to restrict speech. Now, then, when you get into red flag laws, you get into the Fourth Amendment, and the right to be safe and secure in your home, and that. So they're going to come steal your property. Look, Florida has had over 400 gun confiscations from innocent people, and it hasn't stopped anything. And I don't see anybody standing up and fighting back. They're stealing your property. They're taking your right to defend yourself. And they're doing it in a way that's not legal. You go back to the Reagan administration and what was that called? RICO. There was RICO and I remember the Reagan administration saying, well, RICO will only be used for organized crime. Well, guess what? It was not and is not used only for organized crime, now is it? You're going to vote for someone who wants to take your guns, and you think by voting for these people you're going to get less gun control? Again, what is the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. You keep voting GOP thinking, if I keep voting GOP, I'm going to get more freedom. But you're getting less and less and less. So how is voting Republican getting you anything? Except the very opposite of what you claim to believe in. If you want some good channels, you can check out Guns and Gadgets, Gun Owners of America, Firearms Policy Coalition. I happen to be a member of the last one. These are good groups. Guns and Gadgets has a good channel, and actually the guy who does Guns and Gadgets is in the state right next to us. He's a cop in the state right next to us. But I looked at it, and he's on the other end of the state from us. A funny thing, he put up on his Facebook page recently a picture of some beer called Masshole. Those of us in New Hampshire, I know I don't sound like I'm from New Hampshire, but I lived in Texas for 44 years. Texas has red flag laws. Florida, California, they have red flag laws. It's not stopping anything. People aren't fighting back. What happened 200 plus years ago in the state right next to ours, in Massachusetts, when they came to take guns? What happened? People rose up and fought back. I don't see anybody really doing that today. Some lawsuits, but that's it. It's like 2 states have put in anti-baby killing laws, but those are being challenged. And in the end, I don't know how hard people are really going to fight for those laws. I'm going to provide links, so if you don't believe what I'm saying, fine. But, I can point to facts. It's not like those SJW fringe lefties who are just weird and say all sorts of things that don't make sense. They just say, oh, Trump is this, Trump is that, but they have no evidence for it. They think they do, but they have no evidence for it. Now, who do I vote for? I vote for individuals. I vote for the individual. I don't vote for somebody because of their political party. I don't vote for somebody because they are good speakers. I vote for the individual. Now, most of the people I vote for could be considered libertarian, conservative libertarian, with a lowercase l, not an uppercase L. And they run as Republicans. Some run as independents, some run as libertarians. Very, very few will run as Democrats. Those that do run as Democrats, it's usually because it's a Democratic Party control area, so they're more likely to get voted in if they run as a Democrat, even though their policies, their ideas, their beliefs are a long way from what the Democratic Party believes. Now, I was a Democrat for many years. I was raised, if you will, as a Democrat. In college, I was a member of the Young Democrats. No, but then in the 90s I switched to the GOP. That didn't last long. Didn't last long at all, because I realized they were liars. They were hypocrites. They were saying they believed in something, but they were doing the complete opposite. That's why when they show Newt Gingrich, I don't even listen to him. And I was, Tim Pool. Tim Pool said, well, the Democrats are moving far, far to the left, and the Republicans are moving slightly conservative. BS, Tim. BS. The Republicans are moving further and further to the left. I don't know where you're getting this, that they're moving to the right. They're moving further and further to the left. With all their support of gun control, their support of abortion, how is that moving conservative? It's not. When Trump comes straight out and says he would support laws against freedom of speech, how is that very conservative or libertarian or anything like that? That's leftist. Remember, the Nazis burned books. The Nazis didn't like other people's ideas. For anybody, I would highly recommend this book. Highly recommend this book. And this is by a German historian. Yes, the Nazis were socialist. The Nazis were socialist. And the Republicans are just moving. Look at Obamacare. Obamacare is still in effect. It may not be in effect to the extent that it once was, but it still exists. I don't see that that's gotten rid of. People will say, well, Trump got rid of the the UN Small Arms Treaty or something like that. So what? What do I care? He's supporting gun control. Who cares if he got rid of that? I don't care. He's supporting gun control in this country. That's not conservative. That's leftist. So if you want good channels to watch, you want good channels with good information, Gun Owners of America, Guns and Gadgets, Firearms Policy Coalition. These are good channels. Doesn't mean I agree with everything they say, but they're darn good channels. And I highly recommend them. Tim Pool, I'm about done with you because you really think the Republicans are moving slightly to the right when they're actually moving further and further to the left. There was something else I was... oh, geez, what's his name? Oh, gosh. I can't remember his name now. He calls himself a classical liberal, which I consider myself a classical liberal. He, he's a gay guy married to a gay guy. Or, I mean, obviously, if he's married to a guy, both of them are gay, right? And I saw in an interview he did with this lady from Lebanon. And he said something about neocons. What's a neocon anyway? You really don't know what a neocon is. A neocon, which is what Trump is a socialist pretending to be a conservative. That's what a neoconservative is. A socialist pretending to be a conservative. That's what Trump is. So this is almost a 15-minute long video. I think I've said everything probably more than once. Thank you for watching. Now, I expect the hate to flow in.